Hello and welcome to Sammy on Stadia, the F2 Challenge, round 19 of 22. We're on a home stretch now and we're going to the USA for the next race. As you can see, the championship standings, I'll just move my mouse out of the way down at the bottom there. Championship standings have us in 16th place on 11 points. A little bit behind our teammate Boccaracci, but we've had some good results recently, especially when the races have been dry. At the front, there's 12 points separating the top two, Matsushita and Delatraz, and what could be an absolute barnstormy finish to this F2 Challenge at the top. Next round is the United States Grand Prix from Austin. Let's go and find out what happens.
You join us back at Texas for today's race, and it's shaping up to be a special one. I think it's safe to say we're all waiting in anticipation for what will be, no doubt, an incredible day of Formula 2. The Circuit of the Americas is a 3.4-mile track made up of 20 turns. Turn 1 being the biggest standout, boasting a very steep uphill run going into a tight hairpin corner. The circuit features plenty of long, tight corners and long straights with 2 DRS zones to incentivize overtaking throughout. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. There are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Good job yesterday from Louis Delatraz. The Swiss driver starts from pole position, with Nick de Vries slotting in alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Mazepin, Sete Camara, Nobuharu Matsushita, and Giotto, Latifi, Correa, Aitken, Guan Yu Zhou, Raghunathan, Galeo, Antoine Hubert, and Schumacher, Eilot, Calderon, Boccaracci, and Jordan King. Boschon and Giuliano Alesi starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. P9 on the grid on a dry race. This has got to be one of our best chances to score points. Now, the USA track has a good mix of high downforce and long straights. High downforce corners, long straights. So I'm going to leave it on preset 3, the balanced mode. But I honestly don't know what to expect here. I've not driven on this track as often. And to be put in P9, given a great opportunity, I want to see if we can actually redeem ourselves from the Hungaroring, where we had an amazing start but couldn't quite make it last throughout the race. Let's go in and see what happens. The P9 on the grid going into the start of round 19, the F2 Challenge, and we're underway. Now the Austin track is an incredible open corner, which we immediately misjudged, but we're going to go around the outside. And it somehow got us in second with a massive pile up behind us. That is absolutely incredible. We'll get a better look later on at what actually happened, I'm sure. I don't have a clue. But here we are in P2 so early on. We've made a muck up of the first lap really, with 5 seconds behind our nearest rival, but this is a chance for a podium finish, which would be absolutely incredible. Now, the strategy, I'm not going to go in for a change of tyres. That might not be a surprise. But you can see from the gaps that we've got a very good chance of at least finishing top 4. Now, of course, the American track is known for having some of the best corners from the other tracks on the calendar. It's sort of a greatest hits track. It's also got some good corners of its own. We've mentioned the incredible turn 1. Where it's a massive, I think it's a 100-foot climb up and then into the braking zone. You do not see the apex of the corner until you start turning. Then you go back down the hill and into this sequence of corners, which is reminiscent of Maggots-Beckett's complex in Silverstone, and is where you most need downforce, except for maybe a corner later on. There you go, that's the Maggots-Beckett's complex. A nice flat out kink there before another hairpin turn, or almost hairpin turn, a massively wide road on the entrance, designed to promote overtaking, and onto this long DRS straight. Hit the brakes at the end of this straight. Turn in, and I believe this section is designed to be like the arena section at Hockenheim, the Hockenheim track in Germany, which is a piece of track I always seem to remember was built to give the maximum amount of time for the spectators to see the cars. Then through that quadruple apex corner, reminiscent of the turn 8 corner in Turkey. Great to hear that Turkey's back on the calendar for 2020. Won't be in the game, unfortunately. You'd have to go back to some of Codemasters' earlier games for that. It's still great to see that some of the old classics are back on the calendar. Into lap 3. And it looks like we're settling for the top 4 position. Can we keep up this incredible run and make it second place? This is the kind of result I was hoping for a lot of the time when I started the FC Challenge. As you go onto the long DRS straight, it's important to get a good exit, which we have done. Delatraz, Championship Challenger, will be closing in. You can see that arrow, it's not going to be a problem, that arrow behind us. So we hit the brakes. Through the arena section and into this lovely, it's not the same as turn 8 in Turkey, it is in fact the reverse of it. Massive, this is a massive left-hander, or massive right-hander I suppose. The Turkish track has a left-hander on it. And we come through, and that's another lap finished. Delatraz 5 tenths behind us. Is he able to overtake? Not able to get anywhere near. At the start finish straight, also a DRS straight. course, these corners flat out nowadays in the F1 cars. In the F2 cars with less downforce, and specifically my F2 car with a broken front wing. Running wide there. It's only quarter of a second, 3 tenths. 4 tenths. We've managed to squeeze it out to half a second going onto the straight, but he is visibly closer. And they're going defensive far too early. Look behind us and hit brakes. At the end of it, we've got to do that once more for what will be an absolutely incredible finish. Even if he does overtake us, that will be us on the podium. Need a few attempts at that corner, that could be our undoing. As we go into turn 8, looking like he's on the inside of us, he's got us. Are we able to get him back? That was very harsh. I do apologise, Delatraz. We do get DRS on this. And it seems we've
This is your final lap of the race.
And Mazepin's coming to the pits. I do apologise. The young driver doing very well in the real life Formula 2. As we spin and get some real spin there. This is going to be a very tight last lap. Even if we lose, we are on the podium by a decent margin. Now this is all about parking it on the apex of that hairpin and letting go when I need to. So nice low entrance in and then power on out. It's giving us a little bit of breathing space. Then DRS opens up and he closes in. 4 tenths, 3 tenths. We're going to stick on the racing line here. Brake. 2 tenths, 3 tenths behind us. We've managed to hold him off. But it's not over yet. We've still got a few corners left. Of course, this is where we got past us on the last lap. Being very careful around my corner. Nick De Vries comes through to take the win. Delatraz behind us, still behind us. We take final corner, come out of it, and yes! Second place. That is incredible.
A great win then for the ART team today. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
I think they kept a cool head. That's why they won today. Smooth, steady, everything bad that happened to them, they handled it calmly and professionally. That's what let them focus on getting the best out of everything else. The car, the strategy, they managed to keep out of trouble the whole way round.
An amazing race today, and a very well-deserved one too. The team worked very hard to get exactly the right setup out of the F2 car. It works for them, and the results speak for themselves. ARTGP winners today. And now, Davide Valsecchi, let me ask you, who is your driver of the day?
Well, after a driver like that, it's going to be Dorian Boccolacci. Very clean, very smooth. I can be really pleased with that one.
Goodbye for now then, but we really are just getting started. Make sure you join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
And there you go, confirmation of our best result yet. Second place at the Circuit of the Americas in Texas. We're going to go down to the standings, have a look at what that does, and that puts us ahead of our teammate. For the first time, I think, since Bahrain, our first points, we are ahead of our teammate again. 15th place, 5 points ahead of our teammate. The team standings, we got ahead of MP Motorsport. Remember a few races ago, that was my challenge. Seconds a little bit longer than I thought, but we have managed to overtake them at last. Now I'm going to go through the replay and just see what happened at the start. This is our onboard. And you see we don't get a bad start, but something seems to happen ahead of us. So we hit the card in front of us, who I think is Matsushita. Look there, you see? There is a car that is completely sideways. Obviously hasn't had the best time. That was Delatraz. Let's scroll back and see what happens here. He was the pole man. Hey. I do apologise. I want to resume the replay. But he gets hit by the number 12 car, who I apologise, I don't know who that is. Coming up a massive rate of knots. And from there, and there I am. You can see me scrolling past. But it just means everyone behind comes to a standstill. And we're on our way already 3 seconds, which we hold until the end. Well, thank you so much for those of you that have stuck it out and stuck out all my 20th places and finishes outside the top 15. I hope that was worth it for you, watching me get second place at the Circuit of Americas in the F2 Challenge. Thanks for watching. There's only a few more videos left now. I think it's just Brazil. I'm not even sure what the other two are. Abu Dhabi will be the final one, but I can't remember. Join us so we can find out on the next few videos in the F2 Challenge.